So you guys are probably wondering why the title of this video is called Thank You Donald Trump #Feel the Burn. And the reason for that is because I want to say thank you Donald Trump for making such hateful and ignorant comments towards the American people. Because when you're saying these things, you are making it so much easier for Bernie Sanders to win come next election, which I want to happen. And, we can debate for hours over why the Republican policies on economics, foreign policy, and social issues all suck. I mean, the Democratic Party, despite all their faults, are far better when it comes to these issues and governing on these issues than the Republican Party. But when your frontrunner candidate for president of the United States of America says stuff like, we don't want no more Muslims entering into the United States, or that, we should have an identification or tracking system similar to that of the Nazis and what they did to the Jews for all Muslims in the United States, or that most Mexican immigrants entering into the United States are rapists and murderers, but I guess some of them are good people. And he, retweets stuff from neo-Nazis trying to, cite crime statistics, but they're just made up and they were originally created by a neo-Nazi. I mean, just the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And, it's one thing to have a disagreement on economics or social issues or whatever, but when you disregard someone based on how they look, what religion they are, or whether they're religious at all. Like, I'm an atheist, but it's like you're automatically disqualified from even being taken into consideration. I mean, yeah, there's probably a lot of Muslim Americans, Mexican Americans, African Americans, whatever, that might agree with you on your political stances, which are just factually incorrect, but they might still agree with you. But when you discount them as a person and you judge them based on how they look and not their character, then that's when people just, it's like they don't want to support you. And I am a Bernie Sanders supporter. Don't get me wrong. But Donald Trump is like he's such a narcissist. He just doesn't know when to stop. It's like when I used to get in trouble when I was a kid, I'll always backtalk, right? And I'll just keep going on and on and on. And my mom was like, just shut the fuck up. You don't know when to fucking stop. You're just digging yourself into a deeper ditch and you're going to be in trouble for longer and longer and longer. And it's Donald Trump every other day. He says something stupid. I mean, he even attacked Ted Cruz, who's a person who's just fucking dumb, because Ted Cruz is a man who doesn't even get the point of the story of, or point of the green eggs and ham story. I mean, literally, this is a very dumb guy. But Donald Trump attacks him for being like a Cuban Catholic or something. I mean, literally, he's going back to what America was arguing about like a century or so ago. But whatever riles up his base, which just seems like that's the only thing he cares about, it's just he'll say it. I mean, it's like it's just nonstop with him. But you know what? Come next November. Oh my goodness! If he gets the nomination for the Republican Party, the landslide victory for Bernie Sanders, and people keep saying Hillary is going to get the nomination. No, she's not. Because if you look at where Barack Obama was during the primaries leading up into the 2008 election, he was behind Hillary Clinton. But then he eventually got the nomination. He was elected by a landslide, and he was reelected by a landslide. And if you look at where Bernie Sanders is at this current moment in time, in comparison to the 2008 election, he's actually even doing better by far than Barack Obama. And then when people say that Bernie Sanders won't be our next president of the United States, when the Republican Party is showing up to the election with a clown car filled up with batshit lunatics, I mean, do you really think Donald Trump is going to beat Bernie Sanders? Do you really think that Ted Cruz, a man who doesn't get the point of a Dr. Seuss book, will beat Bernie Sanders? Do you really think that Ben Carson, a person who by some chance became a neurosurgeon and then said that the pyramids were used for fucking grain storage, cuckoo, batshit alert. I mean, that's crazy. Like, he literally said that the pyramids are used for storing fucking grain. They're not even hollow, dipshit. And then you have who else? Chris Christie, a man who should be in a prison cell, in some federal prison somewhere, because this man is basically a caricature of a corrupt New Jersey politician. I mean, he literally closed down a fucking bridge because one of the most busiest bridges in the country, because that certain area didn't support him during his election. I mean, he gave out Hurricane Sandy funds based on which area voted for him the most. I mean, he was giving large sums of fucking money to areas that barely had a puddle in their front yard, where other places were under fucking water. He didn't even give barely anything to. So I mean, that's the kind of sleaze, scumbag slimeball Chris Christie is, and I think he should be in prison. And you have a bunch of other crazy lunatics. I mean, Jeb Bush, after his brother and his daddy's catastrophe as both being presidents of the United States, Jeb Bush shouldn't even be in the picture. I mean, he wants to basically do what his dumbass brother did when it came to like his tax cuts for the rich. He wants to deregulate the economy. Most of the politicians want to deregulate the economy so we can go back into another recession. So thanks for watching. That's all I have to say. I will be having a Bernie Sanders website link in the description below. And thanks for watching. Thanks for your time.